another special guest with me today. He comes from Alabama, hails from born and raised in Alabama, Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Big Ten Player of the Year, All-American, NBA draft pick. I got my man DJ White in the building. What's up, baby boy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain, man. We getting COVID right now. My family healthy. We living through it. You know what I'm saying? So I can't complain. What about you?
That's good, man. Family's healthy too, man. It's crazy times in the world. So I'm just
Yeah.
good to be healthy and doing what I love to do.
What is it like? Like you're across the world, man. And what is it like? How is the COVID pandemic over in Turkey? How are the Turkish people handling it?
Well, we're on lockdown right now.
Oh,
So every night, I think after 7, you can't leave your house. You can't leave your house. You can't do anything. And then the weekends, it's like a ghost town. You can't go anywhere. I
man.
get to go places because, we have practice and stuff. But like on my way to practice, I get stopped at least 4 times. I have to show a paper. So they taking it real serious over here. So
Man. What if you didn't have that paper? What would happen?
I'm going to jail, probably
Ooh.
Turkish jail. So
You got like 5 of
yeah,
them ones, don't you?
they not playing over here.
Oh man, how long you been there?
With this particular team, this is my second year.
Okay.
But I've been in Turkey, I think 5 years now.
Okay.
So
Dang.
yeah.
Well, you got the language a little bit. It's
I know
tough.
how to order food. That's about
That's
it.
it, right? That's what I tell them. Man, as long as I had learned how to order food and get what I need from the grocery store, I was cool.
Right.
But
The
hey,
small things.
that's fantastic, man. I want to start, reintroduce some of the Hoosier fans who don't know who you are, and reintroduce you to Hoosier Nation, man. What was your life like in Alabama, coming up in Alabama? What town did you grow up in, and what was your experience like coming up as a youngster?
I grew up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Well,
Hmm.
Mountville is right outside of Tuscaloosa, man. I'm
Okay.
basically what you call the country, man. I grew up very family oriented.
Hmm.
I mean, my grandmother stayed next door, my aunt stayed next door.
Right.
So it was it was one of those, man. It was all about family for me growing up,
Mhm.
and
Man,
that's how I came up.
how many siblings did you have?
I have 4 sisters.
Okay, 4 sisters. Who's the
Yes,
best athlete?
it got me. My sisters, man, they all into makeup and all that type of stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm really the only athlete in the family.
Oh, okay. What were some of the things? And because I can definitely attest to being, my family originated from Dyersburg, Tennessee, so
Mhm.
very very small town. Everybody lived next door. What were some of the activities and things that you did, and what made you pick up a basketball for the first time?
Well, actually, I started off playing baseball first.
Okay.
The school I went to, a lot of the guys played baseball. I didn't even think about playing basketball. So I was into
Right.
baseball, football. I'm right in the heart of, Roll Tide.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
I
no
love
doubt.
football and all those things. But my father played basketball when he was in high school. And I guess I just gravitated towards basketball because of that.
Right.
Started out playing in the church league. I
Mhm.
dominated. And
Right.
and then I ended up just, loving the sport and continue to work at it.
No doubt. When you rolled up into high school, how tall were you when you rolled up into high school?
High school, I think I was 6'3". So I
Okay.
grew a lot during from high school to before I left to go to Indiana. So
Yeah. What year did you hit that growth spurt?
probably my sophomore year, I think.
Between
My
sophomore
sophomore,
year? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you have guard skills at that time and then just blossom into a power guy, or like did that affect, or did just growing too fast affect the guard skills you had, and you just was, oh, we putting DJ in the block. He done.
Straight to the
Straight
block,
to
man.
the
They put me straight to the block because of my height. I mean, I could always shoot.
Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, especially now, that's all I do now at my age is shoot
Right. Yeah.
threes. The game has changed. But back then, man, my high school coach, he actually
Mhm.
was a college coach, in the college ranks for years.
Okay.
And he basically started me on the post. with
Okay.
shooting and
Yeah.
different things like that.
With like you just talked about, Roll Tide is the only thing you hear in Alabama. Was you ever pressured to try to play football, be an offensive lineman or a defensive end?
I wanted to play football. Me and my father went to sign me up, and they was like, he has to be an offensive lineman. I said, nah, I'm gonna
Nah,
stick to
I'm good.
baseball. So yeah, I'm good. So that pressure of being in Tuscaloosa, I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's not now it's more elevated because of the championships, but
Yeah,
it's still been a football town, so everybody, played football. So
absolutely.
I was just not blocking for anybody. I wanted to score the touchdown.
Right, you want to be on offense.
Yeah.
Hey, so we got to playing high school basketball. When did you know, like, all right, this is something I might be able to, to use to my advantage, go to college and increase and improve my family circumstances? What moment in high school did you start to notice that?
Actually, it was before high school.
Okay.
It was my 8th grade year,
Mhm.
and like I told you, he was the high school coach at the time, but he coached in the college ranks for a bunch of years, different colleges.
Mhm.
He pulled me up. His name is Thad Fitzpatrick. He pulled me up to play on the freshman team.
Okay.
So I would walk from my middle school once I finished my classes to go practice with the high school team.
Mhm.
And at that point, I was doing well against even the varsity guys in the
Oh,
8th grade. So
hey, hey,
I kind of got it in my head. Okay,
I
I
got
have
a
a shot
chance.
at this. Yeah, I got a chance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What were so you had a phenomenal high school, you end up having a phenomenal high school career, end up being a McDonald's All-American. So with that comes a lot of competition, a lot of challenges. Who are some of the guys that we might know that you were going to war with down there in Alabama against? Not with.
Oh man, we had
Yeah.
against well, our 2004 class was stacked.
Mhm.
Like you said, I was able to make the
Mhm.
McDonald's game. So around my area in Alabama, it was one other guy. He was a McDonald's All-American,
Mhm.
Mike Williams, Richard Hendricks. He played at Alabama. But around me in Georgia, you had Josh
Oh,
Smith.
yeah.
He actually committed to Indiana, but he ended up going pro. You had Dwight Howard,
Wait a minute,
those
we
guys.
could we
So I
could have
used to
had
play
Josh
against them.
Smith. What?
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
he
know
committed.
that.
He
Dang.
committed. Did he sign? He might have signed. But he ended up
Went to the
going
league.
to the
Yeah.
league. Yeah, he was in my class. It was me, him, Robert Vaden, AJ Ratliff,
Dang.
rest in peace, James Hardy. Um,
Dang.
yeah, it was all of us in that class.
Wow. Where's my man AJ Ratliff at?
I don't
It's
know,
been a
man.
while.
I
Yeah,
haven't
okay.
talked to him. If
Yeah.
he hear this, holler at me,
Yeah.
AJ.
We shouting out AJ, man. I remember AJ Ratliff. You just brought that memory back. We gotta keep up with him too. But so you had those battles, man. What was that? What was the McDonald's All-American experience like, man? I know that was crazy.
Oh man, it was awesome. Like I
Mhm.
said, we had a lot of guys. I think we had 6 guys in that game, maybe 6 or 7 that went pro.
Wow.
So our practices
But
we were
now,
going at it.
yeah,
You
y'all
had
been looking
Al,
forward to touch each other up a little bit.
exactly. You had names like Al Jefferson and Dwight
Mm.
going at it.
Yeah.
You had LaMarcus Aldridge, Rudy Gay, um, Sebastian Telfair, J.R. Smith,
Dang.
Josh Smith,
Was my man I'm from Peoria, Illinois, Sean Livingston in that game?
Sean Livingston. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about Sean. Sean was there.
Yeah.
He was dominating all the guards, shooting
Yeah.
right over him. Yeah,
Right.
so yeah,
Sean.
man, it was competitive, and I just remember just being around the guys.
Mhm.
It was a lifelong memory. I always remember.
Absolutely, man. So your after that, or obviously before that, your recruitment was heating up. Who was the what was that? Who was the first team that you started to consider going to? Was Alabama one of those teams that you really wanted to go to, or you always just kept an open mind until you made that decision?
I did not want to go. Nothing against
Right.
Alabama,
At that time, I get it.
but I live 10 minutes from the university,
Oh, okay.
and that's not somewhere I wanted to. I wanted to get out, experience, do
Yeah,
different things.
no doubt.
Um, I mean, I got recruited by a lot of colleges, but I fell in love with Indiana, to be
Right.
honest.
When did
Early,
they come into the picture?
they came into the picture early.
Mhm.
maybe my freshman year,
Oh wow.
freshman summer after my freshman year.
Dang.
And I visited campus. I remember driving. It was a done deal. It was a
Yeah.
done deal. Yeah, it was. I
Who-
didn't commit right then, but I knew like
but you know, well, you mean
yeah.
driving, just ride on the campus?
No. I'm saying I drove from Alabama to Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was a AAU. I had an AAU tournament in Bloomington,
Uh-huh.
Memorial Day
Okay.
Classic Nike tournament,
Mhm.
and I just fell in love with the campus, and so in my mind, I knew
You knew.
that's why. Yeah, I knew.
Who was the first person to call you and start recruiting you?
Coach Davis himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Coach
Dang.
Davis himself. Funny background story. The church I attended to, the church I attended in Tuscaloosa, Coach
Mhm.
Davis used to coach at the University of Alabama.
Yeah.
His son, well, his mom, let me tell you that Coach Davis' ex-wife was a member of my church, and
Mhm.
his son went to my church. So me and his son became friends at an early age.
Was that Mike?
Mike,
Okay.
yeah. So I kind of knew all about Coach Davis and all that early,
Yeah, early.
and I guess that made the decision easier. But Coach Davis recruited me early from ninth grade.
Absolutely. Who did it end up coming down to, and what ultimately made you be like, I'm calling Coach Davis, I'm committing?
It came down to Florida, North Carolina, and Indiana. They all actually came to see me. Uh, I think on the same day they came to talk to me in Tuscaloosa. I was
Mhm.
close to going to Florida, man. Billy
Yeah.
Donovan sweet talked me. He sounded so good.
They be smooth, they smooth, ain't they?
He was so smooth. Yeah, I
Oh
was
man.
close to going to Florida with Billy Donovan, but just he laid out a perfect plan for me. Um, and those guys ended up winning 2 national championships. I probably could have been a part of that, but
Right. Hmm.
just the tradition of Indiana, the opportunity to come in and play, the way Coach Davis was going to play me, I just felt like it was perfect for me. Win-win situation, and also the recruits I told you about that came in with me.
Yeah.
We had a bond already, and
Hmm.
it was just perfect for me to go.
Definitely. Definitely. But before we get into your All-American career, man, I'm going to ask you 10, I call this the Hoosier 10. I'm going to ask you 10 questions that only Hoosier basketball players can answer.
Okay.
So the first question is going to be, in your 4 years from freshman to senior year, what dorm or apartment complexes did you live in from freshman to senior year?
Teeter.
Shout out to
Yeah.
you.
Teeter freshman year. Oh
uh,
man, sophomore year, the Grove. It was
uh,
over behind the Target if it's still there.
yeah.
And then the rest of the years, I think it was Hoosier Heights.
Hoosier Heights, Grove and Hoosier Heights. They love hearing them shout outs, man. So shout
Yeah.
out to all of them. Favorite restaurant to eat in when you was in Bloomington?
Scotty's.
Scotty's? That's the
Scotty's.
first time I heard that. It's been
That's the first
Buffalo,
time.
it's been Zagreb's, it's been Nick's, then Scotty's. Where's Scotty's at? I don't think I've ever eaten there.
Scotty's is on. It's kind of across from the Hilton, like on the other side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
used
just
to go
got the
down.
message. Scotty's gone now.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, yeah. So
Wow. Okay.
I,
Okay.
I know I never heard of that. I'm like, Scotty.
Yeah, man. I
Yeah.
used to go to Scotty's all the time. See, Knicks. I wasn't. I wasn't. I was 20. I was young.
Uh-huh.
Even my last year, I was. I could. They wouldn't really let me in, so I couldn't
All
really
right.
get the
Yeah,
Knicks
yeah, yeah.
until after I left. But
We
yeah,
got we
Scotty's
got
was
we got to wait till statutes of limitations go up before you can.
right.
I know you went in there a couple times. Right, you know what I'm saying? So hey, I get
Yeah.
it. Well, when the last time you been to Bloomington?
Ooh, man, it's been
Dang.
a minute.
Oh,
It's
we gotta
been a
get you
minute.
back. We gotta get you
I
back.
need to get back, man. I need to see my man Tim Gar.
That's it.
Um, how long? It's probably been 4 years since I've been
4 years?
back.
Okay.
Hmm.
That ain't too bad.
It's not too bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
What player in college gave you the hardest time to guard individually?
Probably a guy named Terrence Dowles, if
I
you
remember
remember that name
Terrence on state.
from Old State.
Yeah.
Man, I'm a freshman year. I'm a buck 20. And he just huge. I couldn't guard him. He put me in the post and did what he wanted. He was very tough for me.
Wow. That's a
Um,
name.
so yeah, so I'll say him off the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Toughest place to play, you remember?
Michigan State was tough.
Michigan State, yeah, but that's consistent. I mean, Muzz from the 70s say Michigan State.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is about that place, man.
And Wisconsin.
I told me, Yogi Ferrell, I made him remember that. I was like, no, he was naming all these other places. I said the most toughest place is Wisconsin. The reason is because it's always freezing cold when you go there, and it's boring as hell. Like,
it really is.
Like, ain't no music, ain't no, it's just, you just blah. And then they bore the hell out of you playing. So it's like, man, you got
the backdoor cuts and all that. Yeah,
you got to create your own energy up here. That's crazy. Did you win at Purdue?
Yeah, did I? Yes, I did. I did.
Okay.
I did.
Good.
I did. I lost once to Purdue.
Okay.
Yeah, I lost once.
My most memorable Mike Davis moment. I know.
I don't even know if I can say it on here, but just his locker room speeches. I'll just say that. I'll never forget his locker room speeches after losses.
After losses. I'm gonna give you a chance to think of we'll think of one and talk about it later. I ain't gonna put you on the spot on that, but okay. I know Mike, and I know it's a few of them. If you look at Indiana basketball history and in the position you play, 4-ish, 5-ish, who would you say are the other top 4 players at your position that played at IU, in your opinion?
Is Calvin Sampson a 4 or 3?
I'll say he was a 3. Yeah.
Okay. Jared Jeffries.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Hastings.
Yeah.
Brian Evans.
Mm-hmm.
And Scott May.
Scott May. Damn.
That's a good 4, right?
Absolutely. That's a hell of a 4. What you mean? I mean, can't go wrong, obviously.
Yeah, you can't go
wrong. Only
though.
person I would probably throw in there or give you an idea of Alan Henderson. You probably never really
I forgot about Alan Henderson.
Play. Ray Tober from the 80s. He was a 4. He went to the league and all that. But that's before. That's why it's yours, because you know it's what you identify with.
I totally forgot about Alan. I know Alan, man. I know Alan.
Yeah, Alan was a beast, man. He was a beast. Favorite IU player, past or present, that you just like to watch?
Probably Jared. Jared was a big reason. Honestly, I came to Indiana. Definitely. Just watching him, I had a chance to talk to him. He talked to me. You know, I love Jared's game. So Jared, I can say Jared was a big reason I wanted to put on that jersey.
That's what's up. And one last question: what one teammate do you miss playing with the most at IU, and why?
Eric Sewell.
Right.
Eric Sewell.
Yeah.
I love Sewell, man. He's just a great, funny guy. He always kept the mood light.
Right.
Worked hard, man. Just a cool guy. So I miss being around him.
Absolutely. You need an Eric on your team, man. And that concludes the Hoosier team, man. You did a great job at it. We're going to go right into your athletic career, man, at the IU. You got the IU, man. And tell me what that first winter was like for you at IU.
Oh, man. I didn't want to go to class on those days.
You did. I was like, coming from the South, man, after that, the winters, man, and how big the campus is. When I start thinking about you, I'm like, I know that mug. You probably had the best coat in the history of the game. Like,
I had to get a coat. I wasn't prepared.
Wow.
I wasn't prepared, man. I'm telling you, some days I can't go to class today, man. It's just I can't walk from here to there.
Right.
So it was tough. It was tough.
No. So you thought differently. You were thinking about going to IU, but when you actually got there on campus, did you feel like you made the right decision? What did you think of the campus and the life at IU?
It was fun, man. Mm-hmm. It was something. I mean, it was the first time on my own, you know. Right. So I never regretted the decision to go to Indiana. It was cool. I got to meet a lot of people, experience a lot of different things. Campus. I mean, it took me a while to get adjusted.
Yeah.
To a couple of things, but it was cool, man. Beautiful campus, nice people, you know, girls, beautiful girls in Indiana.
I
So.
was waiting on that, man. I'm trying to get on here and be bashful. I know you're married, but
Right.
so you step on the court right away and make an impact as a freshman, Big Ten freshman of the year. How were you able to adjust? Because people don't understand the Big Ten is a grind, man, and especially your first year, you're so physical, the travel and the way the game was called, man. How did you end up adjusting so well?
I had good older guys on my team.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Roberts, we call him Boss. I think you know Boss. Mike
Yeah, no,
Roberts.
boss, yeah.
Yeah, he was on my Sean Klein. I had those guys around me, so
Mm-hmm.
and they were, especially Mike Roberts. He used to beat me up in practice.
Right.
So from day one, he beat me up. So that helped me a lot. The
Mm-hmm.
physicality that they put on me in practice. Um, it helped me get through. A lot of other guys, Marshall Strickland, those guys, they helped me get through it, and just being aggressive and hungry. I wanted to be, me and Robert Vaden, we shared dorms. We had a bet who was going to be the freshman of the year. So I was motivated by that too, just being competitive between us two. So
Right. Mm-hmm. Um, I had a chat over there. And we got to bring this guy up for the big man, my man Cody Zeller. My man Austin be looking out. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
He
yeah,
don't want you
Cody.
to leave nobody else. So I said, we can't name him all Austin. We gonna give him what he remembered at that moment. But
Cody top 5 pick. He definitely up there.
absolutely, all of them are, man. It's just I
Yeah.
like to put guys on the spot to see who you thinking of, because that's usually who you think of. It is what it
Right.
is. That's everything you're saying was right, man. Sophomore year, man, you struggled with some injuries. What happened? You only played 5 games.
Broke my foot twice.
Oh,
Broke my
twice?
foot twice. Yeah, I broke it in a preseason game, and then I came back in mid-January, played 5 games, and broke it
And
again, man.
broke
And
it
that
again.
and that year, I really think we had a chance to
Yeah.
to go far in the tournament. We had Marco Killingsworth. I don't know if you remember him.
Oh, so you and Marco would have been on the front line?
Me, Marco. We had Robert Vaden coming back for his second year.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall Strickland was there. Lewis Monroe. Rod Wilmot. We had a nice team. Eric Sewell.
Yeah.
I think we could have did something special, but
Absolutely, with that squad.
yeah, man.
If
That's
it wasn't,
one of the years. That's
Mhm.
one of the years I regret.
Mhm.
That's one thing I regret about being at school is I couldn't play that year because I
Yeah,
think
that's
we would
tough.
have did very well.
Absolutely. That's tough to watch, man. Because then after that year, is that the year after that Coach Davis was let go or left?
Yeah,
Yeah.
did he get let go in the middle of the season or
Was it
after?
middle season? Because I think your junior year, he wasn't there, right?
Nah, he was. Coach Sampson had came in my junior year.
Okay,
I
so I
can't.
think
Yeah, but
in '06 he got let go, man.
yeah.
What I know he was a huge reason why you came to IU. Huge reason why a lot of the guys stayed at IU. Man, what
Mm-hmm.
was that decision like? Because I know it ran past in your mind like I'm gonna rock with Coach Davis, but
Oh yeah.
you ultimately decide to stay, which we are glad you did. But I would have understood if you rock with the guy who brought
Right.
you in. What made you
Right.
stay?
Uh, two things. One, I didn't want to sit out again.
Right.
If I would have left, I had to sit out. And then just weighing where else was I going to go?
Mm-hmm.
And we Indiana, you're on national TV every week.
Yeah.
And where was I going to go to get that exposure? And
Right.
playing in the Big Ten, getting that exposure, tradition, it made sense just to stay. And I loved
Right.
it there still, So,
Mm-hmm.
I just made a business decision for myself, and
Mm-hmm.
it worked out for me.
Man, it's funny how life works, because even though you regret being injured for that great opportunity for that team,
Uh-huh.
that injury is ultimately what led you to stay and
That's true.
become one of the best players at IU history, man. It's like you can't lose at the end of the day,
Right.
even though you would love to play for that national championship, but if you can't play for that, what's next best is to be a legend at the end of the day.
Right.
So,
That's
man,
true.
it's funny how that works as I'm listening to you talk, man. What was Kelvin Sampson like as a coach, man? Because I always thought Kelvin was a good coach. I played. I was on one of the Goodwill games team. He was one of the coaches on that team. I liked his personality. Thought he was real cool. Thought he related. You were obviously in the trenches with him. What was he like as a coach?
At first, I wasn't feeling him, to be honest.
Right.
Because he just it was what we weren't used to what he brought, the intensity, the style, especially that style for me. But as I grew and got to know him, I'm so thankful that he came into my life,
Right.
as a basketball player, as a man, whatnot. Man, he changed the trajectory of where I was going, I feel.
Right.
Just getting that nastiness in me, that grit, that toughness. So man, he he put a bubble on the rim some days in practice, like a little bubble. The ball can't go in and we just had all out fights. And he just made the team tougher. He made everybody tougher. So, I respect him for that.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Even though how it ended out, there's no doubt about it. He's doing it. He's done the same thing at every stop. I played against him at Oklahoma. My man Corey Brewer played for him. I played with him overseas, and then he came to Indiana. They were winning. Now he's at Houston. They winning. I was like, hey man, when winning follows somebody, man, it is what it is. The dude can coach the game. So
he can. I hate how it ended.
Yeah, for sure.
I hate how it ended, but I know a lot of the IU fans don't like him for those reasons. But I was with him day to day.
Absolutely.
He's a good man to me. Still a good man. Family, great family. So
I agree with you.
I got nothing but good things to say about him.
I agree with you 100%. There's no ill feelings because correct me if I'm wrong. What he got in trouble for is legal now. If I remember the phone calls and
phone calls, it's
I think so. Now, like
it's legal now.
Where's the apology? Like, damn,
right?
So, but anyway, man, I'm always authentic because I know how difficult it is, as a minority coach to coach at all. So you never catch me bashing anybody about anything. But you had 2 breakout seasons under him. Kind of alluded to him to the people what changed, but what changed offensively that made you become that offensive post presence?
Man, just working. I think after I got injured and when he came in, my work ethic changed a lot. Just in the gym constantly trying to get better, working on my jumper, working on my post game. Because ultimately I wanted to be drafted. I knew I had to step it up to another level. There was things I needed to work on. So just that determination to get to the league. It just changed me and had me on a different level, different focus, especially my senior year.
Right.
I feel like I was on a different. My mind track was so different, and it was just dominate, win. And I think we did a good job of that season.
In 06, 07, man, you had a heck of a season. Finished third at Big Ten, 21 wins, second round tournament loss. I mean, Indiana standards is Final Four a bust, but to me, that was a hell of a year. You guys, but then next year, I feel like you guys had a more talented team. You know what I mean? But it came to an end with. And here's the thing: your career, your senior year and my senior year run very parallel because we were dominant in our conference. We were leading our teams, but at the end of the year, the scandal, I don't say scandal, but the issues broke out and it put a dark cloud over your performance. So instead of you focusing on who we play next and what we got to do in the Big Ten tournament, you talk about Coach Sampson being replaced and all this other stuff that really, and then you got to get Dan Dockich comes in, now you got to play for this guy. And, you don't know if you can, like you said, it takes a while to adjust to a coach, let alone in the next 3 days. It's either going to be like Steve Fisher in 89 when he coached Michigan and they go all the way to the Final Four, or you're going to be done really quick. And I had the same situation because a tape came out from 4 years ago and it just blew up everything we was trying to do. And we were overachieving as a team. And it destroyed. So when thinking back to that time, what was going through your mind as that dark cloud beginning to come over the team and kind of just wrecked your season?
Man, I was pissed off, to be honest.
Yeah. Right.
I was really pissed off because I think at that time I know we were top 10, might have been top 5 at the
For
time
sure.
that he got fired. We were playing
Mm-hmm.
great. It was a lot
Oh,
of some controversy around the team,
yeah.
some guys getting in trouble for certain things, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like coach was getting a handle on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then boom, that came out.
Yeah.
We were so mad. We was, we were contemplating about not going to practice and
Absolutely.
all these different things. I remember we meeting in my apartment, like, what we gonna do? Are we gonna play? And it just killed the spirit. I mean,
Yeah.
we started losing games we shouldn't have lost. We
Yeah.
ended up, how they had the projections. We were supposed to be 2, 3 seed. We ended up, what did we get? A 7, 10 seed that
Yeah.
year,
Something
maybe.
like that. Yep.
So man, it sucked, man. I still 8 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it still kind of bothers me today.
For
I
sure.
still feel like
It
just do it
still
at the end of
bothered
the
me.
season.
I've been all
Yeah,
over than you, and I still get mad when I think about it.
yeah. My feelings today is still do it at the end of the season. Let us rock. Let us
Yeah.
finish. You know.
Exactly.
Like I said, we had Eric Gordon, top
Yeah.
7 pick. Jordan Crawford, he transferred later, but he ended up a first round pick. We were
Yeah.
a very talented team,
Mm-hmm.
rolling, felt good, and boom, that happens. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I wish it could have ended differently. I know
Absolutely.
you feel the same. That's
Same way.
like you man.
Same
You know how it feels.
Yeah, but when you start talking about how you guys start meeting at your house, like that's not normal, not for that.
Right,
So it just
right,
takes
right,
you,
right.
and people, especially when you're in our situation, where you have a future in it, you stop thinking about what can we do here. You say, okay, what can I do to fix myself up for the future now? Because this ain't working. Like your
Right.
mind just, even though you're trying to play hard and you want to do the right things, it's like stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that just destroys the spirit of the team, man. And you just start thinking about the future inevitably.
Right.
Like, so
That's
go ahead.
no, I was just saying I was thinking back on that time. I mean, everywhere we went, we got cameras in our face. We
Yeah.
all on ESPN. They they're meeting the players are meeting right now. Like, how y'all know this stuff? You know what
Right,
I mean? It
yeah.
was just
Yeah.
certain guys are not at practice, certain guys are at practice. It was just a crazy time,
And
man.
they
But
expected y'all to go out there and win with all that. It's like, man,
right.
look, we ain't thinking about basketball, man. We're doing
Yeah.
press conferences. We
Yeah.
defending ourselves. We like
We
snitches
kids. We
on
were
the team.
kids.
Yeah.
Young men at the time,
Yep.
Maybe now I look at it
I would.
as a man, as a grown man, I'll
Mhm.
maybe do some things differently.
Absolutely.
But I mean, at the time, I was mad,
Yeah, yeah.
because sometimes how some of that stuff, how your team plays, how you play, is tied to your future.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
How to way stuff like that. So I got all this running through my head.
Yep.
This is my time to, Eric is a want to be a top pick. We want to get to this tournament, be a top seed, make some noise. We got all this
Yep.
going on
Yep.
and through this time. So man, it was just a
Yep.
troubling time.
And trust me, man. I know. And looking at, like you said, looking back as adults, man, you just wish you had better, I don't say leadership in helping somebody to help you get through that, because
Mm-hmm.
you really, nobody, it was something new, so nobody really knew how to help you. Like, man, what you was going through from that standpoint, thinking about your pro career, it just
Right.
wasn't a good mix, man. So, but I do understand, as we talk about it now, it's your legacy that's at stake. You know what I mean? So you go
Mm-hmm.
from all this high, and all of a sudden, boom, it's like, man,
Boom,
you
drop.
know what I'm saying? It's that quick, and people forget about you, and it's over. Like,
Right.
hey, man, what about the other 220 games I was getting it, and I don't care about that. It's how it ended. It's like, nah, that's cold
Right.
blooded. But I don't think like that. But I know some people think like that, man. Eric Gordon was one of your teammates, man. What was it like, watching a guy blossom into a top 5 pick, man? And how did it, I'm sure it motivated you in some way.
Oh, it
Mhm.
did, man. He came on campus and you just knew, like,
Yeah.
he the real deal. He came on campus and everybody knew what he was about. He was about winning. He was about, and everybody knew his ultimate goal. Great guy, talented guy, great teammate, funny guy. He's quiet, but he's a funny guy. But he motivated me too because I knew that he could help me and I could help him because people were gonna be coming to watch him. They got to see me. It's gonna help me. So you know, we clicked, me and him. We found a good 1-2 punch, and we fed off each other. We learned to play. He learned to play with me as the season went on because you know I actually kind of started off a little slow that season, and he started off fast. But I think he realized that we need each other to do this thing.
Right.
And then we both started doing our thing together.
Yeah, definitely. Good dude, man. He was doing his thing with the Houston Rockets right now, man.
Yeah.
Obviously in my bracket, I had y'all going to the Final Four with that 1-2 punch. But like I said, I was a little young and I didn't realize what was going on mentally. Right. So, but you are a guy who's really played for 3 coaches at IU because you were part of the Dan Dockage experiment. Right. What was that like playing for Dan Dockage? How many games did you play for Dan Dockage?
Oh man, it might have been excuse me, maybe 5 to 7.
Oh, okay.
I know it wasn't many. I know his first game was Northwestern at Northwestern. That's when we all decided to go and we won or whatever. We went the last minute and we ended up winning. Oh man, you know he was the assistant all year. Good guy. You know we had our little differences the last game, me and him. You know, there's no beef or anything. What happened was 14, 15 years ago. Like I said,
yeah, for sure.
He wanted the job, and looking back on it now, like you said, as you're an adult, you understand. No, he wanted the job. I think some things he could have did better. Some things I could have did better. Us as players could have done better. So I look at it from both sides. But it was a different experience, especially you know him coming in right there and changing everything.
Right.
So
dang, that was tough. That's a tough experience. Yeah, no doubt. But through it all, man, you end up becoming a first-round draft pick. But then your NBA draft experience was a little bit of a circus, man. Then you get drafted and get traded. Then you got traded, and then you go to the team. They lead a whole city and go to Oklahoma City, man. Take us back to that NBA draft experience.
Man, so I got drafted to Detroit. Not celebrating with my family. We had a restaurant in Tuscaloosa. Call next 3 minutes. You going to Seattle? Cool. I said, all right, cool. We get on the plane. We leave at 4 in the morning and go to Seattle. We go to the meeting and they're like, well, we might be going to Oklahoma City. But the way that they presented it, I'm like, we going to Oklahoma City.
Exactly.
So it was just all in 24, 36 hours in area. I went to 3 different cities, you know.
Right.
So I ended up in Oklahoma City, man. So I was happy. Oklahoma City is nice, man. A lot of people don't realize it's a cool city.
Definitely.
Cool city.
Yeah. Was KD and Russ there when you got there?
KD was already there. Me, Russ, and Serge Ibaka was in the same draft.
Oh, okay.
Draft class. So Russ was 4, Serge was 24, and I went 29. So we all was first round in that, and they all took us in the first round.
Both Russ and KD, for different reasons, get a lot of backlash for sometimes their approach and attitude. What is your take on their attitudes and who they are as people? I won't say attitude. Who they are? Because you sat in the locker room with them, you was drafted with Russ and you was there for a minute. What did you observe? As them personality wise?
See, that's the thing. When a lot of people see these guys, like I'm so fortunate I got to see a lot of these guys every day and how they work and why they're where they are now. And those are 2 guys who I saw, especially Russ from day one, even James Harden from day one, how they work to get to where they are. Man, dudes, we had an 11 o'clock practice. They had sweats at 8 o'clock, 8:30. Right. They was there working hard. They were good guys. Like I said, I got to spend a lot of time with Russ because we came in. His locker was right next to mine.
Mhm.
Great guy, family oriented guy. Not a party guy. He's just very determined and focused
Right.
on his craft and getting better. So I love everything about Russ and KD as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you had a good NBA career, man. But I want to know with one specific person and what that experience was like playing against, and that's Kevin Garnett. Was he as big a trash talker as the media kind of saying? Did he say anything to you? Did he try to punk you on the floor?
He, I mean, he kind of tried to hit me a little bit. He really
Yeah.
didn't say anything, and that's my favorite player.
Right.
And I ended up with the opportunity to play with him, so I got a chance to know him and be around him as well. But he didn't talk to me, but being on the side, because I played in Boston for a little bit, he he did his talking. You know,
Right. Yeah,
that's
definitely.
just the intensity of him. But he's a great guy as well. Talk
Absolutely.
talk nonstop.
Yeah.
There's a funny funny guy, man. So it was a blessing to play with somebody I looked up to.
No doubt. And then you also played for Charlotte for a minute, right? And I think you had one
Mhm.
of your better seasons in Charlotte. What was it like meeting Michael Jordan for the first time,
Man, I got a chance to meet Jordan in high school. I went and worked at camp.
Oh, okay.
Um, but to be around him again and for him to sit on the bench is
Ooh,
the is
right.
the is the weird part. It took me a little while to get adjusted to that.
Right, yeah.
You do good, okay. He ain't gonna really say that. You you might be doing bad and you come out of this thing, you see that little glare.
Right, yeah.
So it was and he's come into the locker room a couple times and got on us. Well really cussed us out. So
Really?
yeah, oh yeah, he got us a couple times. MJ one time he was so mad after the game, the coach talked to us. And everybody was spread out. He went in the training room. He cussed the players out who was in the training room. Came to the locker room and got the players in the locker room and the shower.
Yeah.
So MJ didn't play, man. If you didn't give effort, he didn't like it. But
Really?
other than that, he was a good owner. He's a player. He played, so he understood.
Right. Yeah. Did you have guys, did he ever play with you guys or you played? No.
Nah, he never played with us. I
Okay.
think a couple years before I came,
Mhm.
but with us, he never did.
Oh, that's what's up. The other day was the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's passing, man. I know you've seen some battles with him as well. Anything stand out about Kobe Bryant over your time in the NBA that may have happened?
I never got a chance to actually run across Kobe.
Hmm.
I always was a fan. I know we played against him with the Thunder. Um, in the Thunder's first time making the playoffs in LA. We played them game one. It was an early ABC game, and I wasn't on the roster. I wasn't dressing at the time, so I used to come in the early bus and work out.
Hmm.
He was already there.
Dang.
Game one, drenched in sweat. At like the game was either at 12 or 1 Pacific time. He was there at least 9:30, drenched in
Wow.
sweat already. So
Hmm.
that just that mama mentality. And he came out
Absolutely.
and gave us work. So
Absolutely. He knew
yeah,
Young Guns was out there, Katie and Russ.
right.
He finna make sure he prepared to give him the business, man. But he
Hmm.
ain't been the same since he been gone, man. And I'm definitely happy for you, man, and for your NBA career. Being able to experience that, man. Just people ask me all the time. I said, just being around the dudes, man. Like I
Right.
appreciated it. I couldn't believe I was there. So it was like, man,
Exactly.
I'm sitting here talking next. Penny Hardaway is my favorite player. I'm sitting here working out with him. Jordan, my favorite player. I'm sitting here playing open gyms with it. Like, come on, man. You can't, ain't nothing. Can't even explain that in
You
words. Like
can't.
at the end
I
of
understand the feeling.
the day. So
Yeah.
your last game, 13-14, man, was it a hard decision to leave and stop pursuing the NBA and go ahead and start a career overseas? Because I know for me, it was hard as hell.
Yeah. It was tough because you want to keep going and in your head I can do this, I can continue. But at the same time, as well as me, it's a business. You got to make a business decision.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You got families to feed. You got to feed yourself. So ultimately, the decision was I think I went to China
Mm-hmm.
first, and I had a good offer as far as money. So it was something I couldn't pass up rather than wait on an offer.
Right.
And that's what started my overseas journey.
Right. No doubt. And how has I know what playing overseas how playing overseas really changed me and my mindset of in
Mm-hmm.
approaching anything. I think there's a opinion that it's easy to play over here. And so it's explain to the young players like what the difficulties can be playing overseas and how you overcame some of them, the barriers, the money barrier, the communication barrier, the
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed money barrier, like those
Right.
little things that they should expect and understand when they play overseas.
Well, it's definitely not easy.
Right.
Um, I've been fortunate enough. I've been on good teams with good organizations, but someone like my friend Earl Calloway, he played at Indiana. I'm sure you remember the name.
Yep.
Not to put him out like that, but he has a team still owes him money.
Yeah, absolutely.
You,
Yep.
you know, so you get those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
You got the coaches who you only play their way.
Right.
Those strict coaches. You can't do this. You can't do that. The style of play is different. It's more of
Right.
a passing, sharing, cutting, all that type of stuff. It's a huge adjustment from how we play in the States. The one-on-one, the your turn, my turn is not like that. And then, like I said, the business aspect of it.
Mhm.
You might get a bad apartment. You got to
Right.
deal with it. You
Yep.
might not get
Exactly.
paid. You might not get paid for a month or two. What you gonna do? You gonna leave, or you gonna continue to play?
Right.
And you might get that money later. It's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be good if you get in good spots
Mm-hmm.
and if you play well over there. But you just got to be ready for the outside of basketball part of it. That can
Mm-hmm.
be tough on guys.
Right, definitely. I agree with all that, man. I'll try to educate the young people that it's levels to playing overseas. It's the Euro League level, and then it's the
Uh huh.
used to be Julep Cup for us when I was there, but I don't know what it's
Uh huh.
called now. And then it's the
Yeah, it's Euro
Euro,
League.
yep, and then there's Euro Cup, and then there were everybody else, and in all those situations, man, you never know. I probably left 125 grand overseas, like just I'm not
Wow.
getting paid, so I'm not playing. And
Right.
this is whether you playing well is how to determine if they're gonna pay you or not. So
Hmm.
it's not they I tell you what, they do drive you to retire earlier than you probably normally would.
That's true. That's true.
It'll be like the 2-a-day practices and all these
Man,
issues. Nah, I'm cool. I gotta
man,
find
I got
something.
2 practices tomorrow.
Yes. Hey, it don't stop, man. But
Man.
luckily, what you guys had and we didn't when I played was that you can stay connected with the family at home with FaceTime and stuff like that. I know COVID has made it difficult the last couple of years to get people in and out, but that's the only difference, man. And so I always commend. I knew how it changed my life and my mindset, socially, when I got
Right.
back in the States, man. And it was just different. I wanted to give back to the community. I wanted to be involved because I know our community can really benefit and use that basketball or whatever sport to travel the world. Because you can't even count how many countries you've been to, how
Right.
many
That's true.
countries you just visited, like how many you lived in. Like when you're in it, you don't really think about it. But when you're done, you're gonna be like, dang. And,
Right.
and keep that passport book with them stamps in it too. Keep,
But I got you. I will.
don't lose that because you're gonna want to use that to brag one day.
How
But
many years did you play
I,
professional?
I played 9 years overseas. I played
9 years
five.
old.
I played 5 in Italy, and then I went on a little money tour: Croatia, Israel, Sweden, and I ended in Qatar.
Okay.
Yep. So Qatar, just go get some money, get your
Hey,
last check, man.
gotta go get it.
See what I can get out of it. It was actually cool though, man. I was like, dang, I could have played a couple more years. I was just done with the traveling and
Yeah.
moving around. The family, my daughter was getting older. I was like, I can't do
What
it.
age were you when you stopped?
I was 32.
32. Okay.
Yep, I was 32.
Yeah.
What you 34?
I'm 34. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
got I got about a year or two left.
one more 2 years, man, and it all
Yeah.
depends on how it goes. But You know what I'm saying? But if you can, you're in a good. The difference is when I stopped, I wasn't in top leagues and nothing like that. I was just trying to get some money. But
Right.
as long as you can play and contribute and make in the top league, man, until they say no, because
Keep
them
playing.
kind of jobs ain't here. So stay there as long as you can until you
True.
figure out what you
True.
want to do here, man. Which brings us to the last phase, man. So let me ask you this: what teammates do you still keep in touch with that you play with at IU?
I keep in touch with Earl Calloway.
Mm-hmm.
That's my best friend, man.
Okay.
We talk all the time. Um, Lance Stemler, he was
Mm-hmm.
in my one of my good friends. He was in my wedding, him and Earl.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who else do I talk to. Consistently, just those two.
Those
On
two,
and
man.
off, I might talk to a couple guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing, man. If I can say that about Indiana that I wish was a little better was the alumni getting together. I
Right.
wish, kind of like what North Carolina does.
Right.
Those guys are like real brotherhood. I wish we could get that, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit closer, generations or, guys from different years. We all can. I know they have the thing, and I think French Lick every year they try to do something, but,
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could all get that, our family could get a little closer.
It's crazy that you mentioned that because I've had Isaiah Thomas on, I've had Calvert on, and I kind of put it on Isaiah like we need an all Indiana alumni reunion, not Coach Knight guys, not Mike Davis's guys, not Kelvin's
Right,
guys, and not Tom Crean, and we need everybody, man. I said
right.
that would truly begin to unionize and galvanize the IU faithful when they see that. I said,
Hmm.
it's like it's four different teams of IU alums, and that's not cool. So
Yeah.
that was one of the reasons behind the podcast was to start to create these relationships so we can connect and we can create that situation for all of us, man. Because I feel the same way. Like
Right.
I don't. It's not just night guy. I was a night guy, but I mean, it's still other guys that I want to talk to, meet, chop it
Hmm.
up with, hang out with in a social setting, get to
Right.
know. So, and I completely agree with you. I put it on the pillars, Quinn, Isaiah, Randy Whitman, all
Hmm.
these dudes to make that happen. They said he would. So you stay tuned. I got you locked in now. So we can definitely make sure you
No doubt.
get wind of that when it happens. So we can all be a
Okay.
part of it.
Appreciate it.
I told him, I said, we need to have a old old time 3-point shootout. Everybody think they can shoot now. Let's
Right.
all let's
Yeah,
all
we
get
did.
out, put it on tape, and let's go shoot, man. Have some fun and enjoy being in Bloomington for a weekend. Everybody. So I
Yeah, that'll be
definitely
perfect,
agree with
man.
you. What'd you say?
No, I said that'll be perfect just to get everybody together, man. I mean, it's a lot of guys I want to be in touch. Like Isaiah, man. If he puts something out, we all gonna follow. He the
We're gonna
you
be
know he
there.
the he the
Absolutely.
man. So
Absolutely.
I hope we can get it going.
Absolutely. And I held him to his word. He always told me, he said, Indiana guys will always be there for Indiana guys. So everybody I've talked to, I've touched, except for one person that I ain't gonna put him on blast, that I've reached
Hmm.
out for this podcast. Everybody has said yes, and everybody has made some time for it. So,
Right.
I have no choice but to reciprocate that and make sure I do my part in that. So I would
Right.
just what you talked about, I'm gunning for it. I'm that's my goal to make that happen for real. So um, last couple questions, man. You still keep in touch with Coach Davis or Coach Sampson?
I haven't talked to Coach Davis in a while, man. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Sampson, I talk to here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I keep in touch with his family for sure, man. They was my family away from home. Here I used to be over there all the time, sleep on the couch and all that type of stuff. So I was close with them. But I haven't had a chance to speak to Coach Davis in a while. It'd be nice to
Absolutely.
reconnect with him though. But
Absolutely, man, and that's from an OG. That's my always my advice, man. Because we don't think I know I've been in your shoes. Like I said, our careers kind of ran parallel as
mhm.
I'm reading up on you, and I always encourage, man, start reconnecting, start reaching out. Don't wait because I did it. Wait on them to reach out to me, and you know what I mean. And because we live
Right,
our own lives, we grown, we do our thing, we got our families and kids, but
true.
to make sure those assumptions that may have been created when you stayed at IU instead of went with. I promise you, those guys aren't thinking about that anymore. It's not something that. And back then it would hurt because we got pride, like we men. You know what I mean? But I always say, I told Yogi that I was like, man, stay in touch with all your coaches. Because that ball gonna start bouncing and you're gonna need references, not even for that, but that stuff, those are ways that they can help us. And so I pick up the phone, I start calling everybody, see everybody cool. Some people talk to you for 2 minutes, some people you end up talking to for 45 minutes, but you got history with them dudes. So man, reach out, stay in touch, man, and let them know how much they did for you and for us. And because they turned you to an All-American.
No doubt, man.
So both of them did. They both had a hand in that.
That's true. I wouldn't have been in Indiana if it weren't for Coach Davis, to be honest. So
we wouldn't be on this podcast right now.
Right. Yeah, you're right about that.
You've been a UAB Blazer. Shout out, man. But last question, man. How do you hope Indiana fans remember you?
As a guy who gave it his all every night. Laid it on the line, no matter what was going on around the program or around the team. I stood 10 toes down and I gave it all every night. So that's how I like to be remembered.
No doubt, man. Hey, it's a poster in my basement, man, that has 5 Big Ten champions, Big Ten MVPs on it, and you one of them. So, man, you had a great career. Hey, nothing ever to be regretful of. I know we talked about our regrets, but hey. Right. Things work out the way they work out. And, it doesn't mean that, we didn't give 100%, gave 100% to the program, whether you win a championship or you don't, or you lose or you win X, Y, Z. So I just want to let you know, you're a Hoosier legend, man. And you're going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. So we'll be there supporting you on that. It's coming. They don't do it till you. Don't think they ain't calling you for no reason. They don't do it till you retire. So.
Okay.
Yeah, announce your retirement first, and then they'll put you on there. So you're gonna be in there one day, man. And we are grateful to have you as one of our alum, man. We're gonna make that reunion happen, brother.
Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it.
Good luck to you, man, in Turkey, man, and keep that family close, keep them tight, and let us know if you need anything from us, man. From House of Hoosier, Field of 68. Podcast network, man. We might get you on and get you popping when you're done.
No doubt, man. Whenever you need me to come on, man, you got my number. I'm here for you, man. I like what you're doing. Uplifting, man. It's cool getting everybody get back together, hearing stories of the old players, man. It's dope. So I like what you're doing.
Yes, sir. That's what it's about, man. Uplifting stories, keep the nostalgia alive, man. Because the Indiana basketball history is not like none other, man. And I don't think people really understand that. Like none other. There's no other experience. I know the North Carolina, Kentucky, that's cute, but ain't nothing like Indiana basketball and being connected to that, because you're connected forever. So definitely, I will be reaching out. Thank you for taking the time, bro, man.
No problem. Appreciate you having me.
All right, peace.